Welcome to Mick the Trick's channel. I would like you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel and comment on it as well with any views you have.
So we're back here with Mickey Nevin. He gave us two great tips there last week. He gave us Cork -5 and he gave us Tipp -2, which was a big shout in a 50-50 game, or you might say Kilkenny was maybe favourites. But Mick, we'll talk about Cork and Dublin first. It was a pretty one-sided affair, wasn't it?
Cork was very impressive. Very good. The last time 7 goals were scored in the championship was in 1986, and Cork was the team that done that in '86. They won by 20 points of a margin. The last time that 24 points in 1984, centenary year, Cork won a championship match by 24 points. So they won by 20 there Saturday. They were very impressive. Patrick Hoggy was very good. And what can you say about them? The favourites now for the All-Ireland.
Alan Connolly grabbed a hat-trick.
Alan Connolly got a hat-trick, scored three great goals. The whole full forward line, the running and the pace of them was unreal.
You'd have to say they're favourites, Mick.
You'd have to beat Tipperary twice this year now. But Tipperary will still give them a game for it.
The Dublin manager was praising his group of lads, many who obviously who still learning the game. How do you assess Dublin's development, Curb, and what's next for Dublin?
Well, Dublin is still just up against a very good team on Saturday. Cork was very impressive to score 7 goals. The last time that was done was 1986, and they were the team that done that. You had Jimmy Barry Murphy, Tony O'Sullivan, John Fenton from Middleton. You had all them Jerry Cunningham in goals, Kevin Hennessy. And
but they'll be back again, Dublin.
Dublin would be back again, yeah.
Yeah. Pat Ryan, he warned against overhype despite the 20-point victory. Do you think Cork could risk complacency, or how important is that management mentality, especially as they're tipped as favourites? He won't want them getting carried away, will he?
Well, he won't. Well, they were favourites last year, and Clare beat them as well. Clare beat them last year in the final as well, but I think there's hunger this year in Cork, and they're after picking up the National League and the Munster title, and it'd be very hard for Clare. The biggest half of it'd be very hard for Tipperary. The biggest half of this Tipperary team is very young. Out from the McGrath and Liam O'Neill is doing a great job, but it might take another year for them or that. But they're doing very well. They'll give them a good game for it.
Yeah, Mick, before we go on to the Tipperary, the game yesterday between Tipperary and Kilkenny, which was an amazing game, you did give Cork the -5. Now, a small punt. You don't mind a punter having a small punt. We don't promote.
I don't promote gambling. It's not a thing to be at. Gambling is for a rich man to get broke and a poor man to win a few bob. But be only gamble what you can afford to do. If you just have very little if you can afford it.
It's a hobby bet.
It's a hobby. It's not a thing to be at. And I advise people that they could stay away from gambling, and for their mental health issues.
100%. Mick, what a game yesterday, Mick. Tipperary and Kilkenny was absolutely brilliant.
Well, Kilkenny for the first 15 minutes was brilliant. They were very good knocking over points. TJ Reid couldn't miss from frees. Every one of them, Lawler was good in the full back line, but then they made a few switches. And John McGrath settled them with the goal. His father won an All-Ireland in 1989, Pat McGrath for Tipperary. In 1989, to be handsome in the All-Ireland final, Pat and his 2 sons, John and Noel. Noel came in the second half and made a difference as well. The 2 McGraths are great hurlers. And John settled him down with the goal. And he got a class goal here just before half-time, tipping it over the keeper. That was great skill.
And Tipperary overcame 14-man disadvantage after Darragh McCarthy's second yellow card. What did that say about their mental resilience, Mick?
Well, Tipperary, they worked twice harder. There were 12 or 14. There were 14 minutes without for 14 men, and they worked very hard.
It looked like it woke them up when they actually...
It woke them up. Young Jason Ford from Silver Mines He stepped up to the mark taking frees, and he was excellent, brilliant with the frees. He was the former free taker last year, but McCarthy came in, and when he went in, they had to take over Ford. Ford took a couple there from the sideline, and they were brilliant. He was outstanding, Jason Ford, yesterday, and Noel McGrath came in and made a difference.
Kilkenny scored 30 points without finding a net, Mick. TJ Reed scored 11. Would you put that down to Tipp's defence, or was it just their lack of being brilliant in front of the goals?
Well, Tipperary defence was very good. In the second half, Kilkenny played a short ball out and trying to land the ball in, and as soon Tipperary picked up all the loose balls in the defence when the ball came in high to them. The breaking balls, and were coming out with them. And Tipperary was very good in the defence.
This classic clash, it reignited one of hurling's greatest rivalries. What does this result mean for Tipperary's resurgence and Kilkenny's long season-long narrative heading into the first final between Cork and Tipp? This is the first final they've ever played in.
Yeah, the first final with the played the lot of Munster finals, and the Premier County will be the Premier County is a good hurling county, and they give Cork lots of it, but you'd have to fancy the Rebels on this occasion.
Going back to the gate, that was some goal. The last goal.
The last goal was brilliant. Great goal, but Young O'Donoghue came in and he took it well. Now, he could have been hook blocked as well, but it just went in and he took it well.
It was serious
But
goal.
Tipperary fought for every ball. Jason Ford, Noel McGrath, every one of them was. They died for one another in the pitch, like they fought very well. And the last, when McCarthy went off.
You were up ahead, weren't you?
I was in the Cusack stand, yeah.
Yeah. What was the atmosphere like there, Mick?
Oh, great buzz. Yeah, Tipperary bring a big crowd.
Right.
And it was good now. It's good to see them back in, because they're a hurling county.
Yeah.
And it was a local derby with Kilkenny and them. You have Mullen O'Horn only over the road from Callan, Tipperary. They're bordering counties.
Yeah. The -2, Mick, you hit twice. 2 out of 2.
Yeah,
that was brilliant picking, in fairness.
Yeah, but that's the way it goes. Yeah, you can be
but look, you know a good bit about it, in fairness. You won't get everything right. But in fairness, like...
I advise everyone not to be backing much. Just back what they can afford.
Yeah.
Gambling is an addiction. And if they could stay away and just enjoy it better, they would be better off.
So, Mick, brings me now, obviously, we'll go back, we'll have a preview before the final. But speaking now today here, who are you fancying for the finals? You're fancying Cork, I presume.
Well, I'd have to say Cork, yeah. You'd have to go on Cork, yeah. I think Cork will be too hungry over last year, and it'll be very hard to beat now.
Especially after losing the final last year, is it?
And they're not going to have a serious foul. Alan Connolly is brilliant. Hoggy, Patrick Horgan, and Brian Hay at the full forward line. They do very big damage now.
Do you think Tipp will put it up to them, though?
Tipp will give them a game for it. They're hurling county. They're not good up to make the numbers up. Tipperary will give them a game for it. We only 3 or 4 points maybe in it, but you'd have to still go for Cork. But my banker of the week is this weekend is Donegal -3.
Yeah, we know that, yeah.
And Kildare.
Yeah.
It'll beat Limerick in the...
You're going for 3 now. I think we had 2 the other day, -2 Donegal. Or maybe you could be right. Maybe you had 3. I'm not sure.
-3, yeah.
So yeah, but I know you're staunch on Donegal. We know that.
Staunch to Donegal, yeah.
And obviously we'll cover that when the games come. Mick, are you going to that game, or are you getting...
I'm going to the game Sunday, yeah.
As well. All right, fair play to you. Right, so look, that's great, Mick, that you had the time to talk with us today. I will be in touch with you again, maybe later in the week, just to keep up to date on things. But that's Mick's picks, and we'll be in touch, everybody, and you'll hear from us again. Don't worry about that. Thanks, Mick, for coming on.
Thank you very much.